Hey guys, hope you're doing good today. This is Ben here. Obviously, just found out today that Kier Starmer has just been elected Prime Minister of England. He replaces Rishi Sunak, Indian guy who was leading the UK or leading Great Britain. He was leading England for some reason. You'll never see this in any other nation aside from a predominantly white country. The day, I swear, pigs will fly, the day that an Englishman is ruling India or, a fucking Chinese guy is ruling the United Arab Emirates or some shit. But for some reason, in predominantly white countries where there's prosperity and law and order, we're the only cunts who are silly enough to elect people who don't look like us to rule over our countries. Most of them globalists. And fucking, sure enough, Keir Starmer, this weak little fag, is also a globalist. He was asked, would you rather be in Westminster or Davos? And he said Davos. So he's rubbing shoulders with people like Klaus Schwab. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You will be eating cockroaches and drinking cockroach milk. These are this guy's pals. And he's also a big advocate for the whole Pride Parade and grown men having their cocks out in front of little kids. Something that I am vehemently against. I think they should make, oh man, I don't think gays should be in the Roman Catholic Church. I don't think they should be allowed to get married before God. It literally is sacrosanct to what's said in the Bible. We got trans priests now. It's like if you can be born with a dick and be a woman, then the very definition of being a woman has been lost. And it's the same with being a trans priest. It makes the whole religion defunct when we allow this shit. This is the thing. Christians nowadays think that it's all about turning the other cheek and being laissez-faire and just loving everybody, but we have no line in the sand. And this shit is fucking morally wrong. And I heard a statistic the other day about racial demographics in America. And it says that actually, even though fucking all of these fucking talking heads focus on diversity, inclusivity, all this crap, there's only two racial demographics which contribute more to the economy than they take. Actual givers to the economy, people who support this shit and keep it afloat in America. Only two demographics, and that is white people and Asian people. Every other racial demographic takes more than they give. Especially black people, who not only take more than they give, but also add an element of criminality and violence to the country. They are 13% of the population, but over 50% of the crime, especially violent crime. And I heard something that on a yearly basis, black men rape 20,000 white women, and there wasn't a single case in the last year of a white man raping a black chick. So make of that what you will. And obviously now we've got a fucking major problem with immigration. So you've got all of these black and Muslim people coming into the country, most of the time illegally, and basically coming here with their hand out, saying, oh, please, white man, you are so disgusting, we hate you so much, but may we please have some money? May we please have some asylum? And yet complaining the whole fucking way, calling us infidels and the white people, we was kind back in Egypt. We was inventing spaceships and shit, but then the white people came along. And yet they still flock to our countries and form these grooming gangs and rape and pillage. And the fucking English government is so fucking dumb that they're like, yeah, like, let's house these people. Who cares if we got a housing crisis amongst our native population? Let's give these smelly cunts some fucking public housing. They're even, I watched some Andrew Tate shit the other day where he was talking about how some elderly couple they had a forced enclosure of their house. They had to sell their house to the government mandatorily for like £200,000 so that they could give the house to asylum seekers. And I really think this whole diversity, pride, fucking illegal immigration shit is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. You got 5 more years of this shit with this globalist, bought and sold Kier Starmer, this weak little fag. I actually don't live in England anymore. I love where I come from. I wouldn't have been born anywhere else. It's done a lot for me, and I'm very privileged to come from such an amazing country. But I had to get the fuck out of there because it was really quite a negative place, to be honest with you. For me. So, this maybe doesn't affect me per se, but I certainly don't like seeing all of these fucking immigrants coming into Europe and just fucking causing all this mayhem. I just don't like that shit. Wherever white people go, there's prosperity and law and order. Wherever these cunts go, there's fucking trouble and drama and these cunts stink. I fucking hate these cunts so much. I cannot stand them. I was watching some Muhammad hijab shit the other day where he was talking about how biologically a 13-year-old girl with big breasts and a big ass can take... He was talking about how she can take a dick better than a 90-year-old woman. So it's okay that Muhammad had a 13-year-old wife. It's like, my God, you sick-minded cunt. You sick cunt. Your idol is a pedo, you sick cunt. And we're getting these cunts coming into our country, and then he has the cheek to turn around and say, white people, if you don't like it, then go somewhere else. You stupid cunt, this is our country. Why the fuck do you come here when you could have stayed in your fucking litterbox country, wherever the fuck your family come from? I have no problems with... I actually look up to some Muslims out there, people like Khabib and... people like that, people who are respectable and hardworking and love their family and are even graceful with women, though it may not, if you look at Khabib interacting with a woman, he's not being gross or molesting them or some shit. I can respect somebody like that, regardless if I don't agree with their religious views or whatever. But these Muslims who come to our country and form these grooming gangs and all this shit, and then wonder why people hate them so much. It's just the dumbest shit ever. And I really think they need to impose 1 to 2 child policy for demographics of people that don't contribute to the economy. If only Asian and white people contribute to the economy, and if we're literally being replaced in real time, we gotta put a stop to that shit. Because once the white people go, this whole world will go to fucking shit. This is what I genuinely think. Wherever white people go, there's law and order. You look at ancient Greece, the fucking shit that people were building thousands of years ago. White people have something special in here that a lot of other people just don't have. And once we get replaced, who knows what's in store for the rest of this world? Who knows? And this is what I genuinely think. If you're not going to contribute to the economy, you should not be allowed to have more children so you can drain it all the more, all whilst the native population are being replaced. They need to incentivize white people and Asian people. I like Asian people. Asian people don't complain about shit that happened 200 years ago and act as though they're still suffering from it today. Asian people put their fucking nose to the grindstone. Asian people don't go around committing crimes or acting like fools or forming grooming gangs and all this fucking disgusting shit that other brown and black people do. And this isn't a racist attack, it's just facts. Wherever black and Muslim people go, problems follow. Let's be real. And I've met a lot of black people and Muslim people that I respect, and this isn't... I'm not including people like that into this conversation, but there are certainly people from this demographic which pose major problems and ruin the homogeny of the society. So to bring in more of these people is just the dumbest shit ever. Yeah. So I really think over the next 5 years things are going to get worse in England, but then hopefully the Reform Party, I really agree with a lot of the shit Nigel Farage says, and I really hope things get better in the long run, and I hope Europe stays predominantly white from now till ambiguita, because wherever white people go, prosperity follows. Law and order will follow. Just look at what happens when people become successful. When black people become successful, when Muslims become successful, do they stay in their local communities, which are, all apparently so fucking good? When black people become rich, when Muslims become rich, they move to the white people, where the white people are.